धारे युगधर्म श्री हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय। श्रील प्रभुपाद की जय। सामवेद गौर भक्तवृंद की। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत्। नष्टप्रायेषु भद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवतेरुत्तमश्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी। कृष्णाय वासुदेवाय देवकीनन्दनाय च नन्दगोपकुमाराय गोविन्दाय नमो नमः। Hare Krishna. So today we are reading from chapter 4, Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, chapter 18. Chapter 18, Prithu Maharaj milks the earth planet. Text number 19. Prakalpya vatsam kapilam siddha sankalpanamayam siddhim nabasi vidyam cha yecha vidyadaradhaya. Prakalpyavatsam kapilam siddha sankalpanamayam siddhim nabasi vidyam cha yecha vidyadaradhaya. Prakalpyavatsam kapilam siddha sankalpanamayam siddhim nabasi vidyam cha yecha vidyadaradhaya. Any Matajis? Word to word meaning. Prakalpya, appointing. Vatsam, calf. Kapilam, the great sage Kapila. Siddha, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Sankalpana Mayim, proceeding from will. Siddhim, yogic perfection. Nabasi, in the sky. Vidyam, knowledge. Cha, also. A, those who. Cha, also. Vidyadhara Adaya, the inhabitants of Vidyadhara Loka, and so on. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. After this, the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, as well as the inhabitants of Vidyadhar Loka, transformed the great sage Kapila into a calf, and making the whole sky into a pot, they milked out specific yogic mystic powers, beginning with Anima. Indeed, the inhabitants of Vidyadhar Loka acquired the art of flying in the sky. Purport. The inhabitants of both Siddhaloka and Vidyadhar Loka are naturally endowed with mystic yogic powers by which they not only can fly in outer space without a vehicle but can also fly from one planet to another simply by exerting their will. Just as fish can swim within the water, the residents of Vidyadhar Loka can swim in the ocean of air. As far as the inhabitants of Siddha Loka are concerned, they are endowed with all mystic powers. The yogis in this planet practice the eightfold yogic mysticism, namely Yama, Niyama, Asana, Pranayama, Pratyahara, Dharana, Dhyana, and Samadhi. By regularly practicing the yogic processes one after another, the yogis attain various perfections. They can become smaller than the smallest, heavier than the heaviest, etc. They can even manufacture a planet, get whatever they like, and control whatever man they want. All the residents of Siddhaloka are naturally endowed with these mystic yogic powers. It is certainly a very wonderful thing. If you see a person on this planet flying in the sky without a vehicle, but in Vidyadhar Loka, such flying is as commonplace as a bird's flying in the sky. Similarly, in Siddhaloka, all the inhabitants are great yogis, perfect in mystic powers. The name of Kapila Muni is significant in this verse because he was the expounder of the Sankhya philosophical system, and his father, Kardama Muni, was a great yogi and mystic. Indeed, Kardama Muni prepared a great aeroplane which was as large as a small town and had various gardens, palatial buildings, servants, and maid servants. With all this paraphernalia, Kapiladev's mother, Dehuti, and his father, Kardama Muni, travelled all over the universes and visited different planets. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmilitam Mena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Mena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamahyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrachatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parichana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamsha Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Presthaya Bhutale Shrimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashatadesha Tarine Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namane Gaurasve Namaha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangir Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpa Tarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubheva cha पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद, श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। मुखं करोति वाचालं पाङ्गुल्लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपः तमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारिणम्। Hare Krishna. So, before I start speaking on this verse of Srimad Bhagavatam, I would like to seek the blessings of His Grace Anandamai Pr and all the assembled Vaishnavas, so that I can glorify the Lord to purify my heart. So, in this particular section of Srimad Bhagavatam, Prithu Maharaj milks that planet. So we see how once upon a time when the inhabitants of his kingdom, they were not getting the necessary foodstuffs, grains. So Prithu Maharaj contemplated and he found out the reason was that Mother Earth was not providing grains. So he started attacking her for not providing. Finally, she gave various reasons why she should not be killed, but still he was punishing her because of not providing the necessary foodstuffs. And finally, she agrees to provide the foodstuffs, various things for the various living entities. And here we see the various inhabitants of different lokas approaching Mother Earth, was in the form of a cow, and receiving various things as per their interest. So the modern man has a very limited understanding. He thinks that there are only inhabitants or living entities only on this planet, Prabhupada says. But actually there are various type of living entities on various planets, right? So just like we are able to live in this particular atmosphere of earth, so same way Prabhupada says on sun planet there is sun god, Vivaswan, which is mentioned in Bhagavad Gita. So they may not have body like us, but they may have different body made of fire, right? So one may think, hey, how can somebody have fiery body? Right? So who made first of all our body? It's not that we have made, right? It's a Supreme Lord. Under His direction, everything is being made. So He can make our body, He can also make fiery body. It's not difficult for Him, right? So various living entities in various planets, they have different types of bodies, but they are all material only in this, because they are all part of the material world. They are all made of the five gross elements in different constituents. The elements may be in, for example, in sun, the fire element may be more like that. So one should have faith that in the scriptures, and understand that there are so many various types of living entities in various planets, and they may have various capacities. Like human beings on this planet, they have particular capacity, right, to act in certain way. They have certain abilities to think and do, right, in a particular way. Same way, the Supreme Lord may bless or may give particular inhabitants as per their karma particular abilities. Like here the inhabitants of Siddhaloka, they are given the ability to fly, right, and they have some mystic powers. So this ability is again given by the Supreme Lord, right? So one should not be bewildered or think that how is it possible. The Lord is Yogeshwara, the master of all mystic siddhis. So master of all the yogis. So he can give. He has that ability, right? So instead of doing research and wasting time in finding out what is there in other planet, or sending so many satellites and trying to find, it's all waste of time actually. First of all, purpose is human beings have no ability to actually go to the other planets, because they are not having that particular karma to enter that planets. They are not authorized, right? On the other hand, means they are just wasting so much of time, energy of so many people. So much money also is being wasted, right? So but if somebody has just faith in the scriptures, he can save so much of time, energy. Just open Bhagavatam and study, right? You can easily understand what is there, which planet is there, and what type of living entities are there, what they do. Everything is crystal clear. And now, even though they have spent so much time, energy in doing so much research, they are still searching only. Right? They are no concrete what you call result, or they have no concrete knowledge of what is there in which planet, what type of living entities are there. They are just imagining, right? So Srimad Bhagavatam gives actually such perfect knowledge, because it is coming from the Supreme Lord, right? So that's why it is perfect, and it is free from the four defects which the conditioned souls have. But the conditioned souls think that, oh, we are not conditioned and we can do research and we can find out, right? That's all waste of time. Another aspect which is being uh, seen here in this particular chapter is that the various living entities, according to their nature, they are asking different various types of things. They are milking out various type of things from Mother Earth, right? So Mother Earth is like desire fulfilling tree, right? She is Dharani, right, holding so many various gifts in a room. So she is willing to provide various things according to their desire, right? So we see in the previous verses how the demigods, they wanted, they milked out Soma, the demons, liquor and such things. And here in the previous verse, the inhabitants of Pitraloka, they got this kavya, they milked kavya, the food offered to the ancestors. So like this, different people, they are milking out different things, right? So, but whereas the sages, they are milking out the Vedic knowledge from it, right? So, Mother Earth is ready to give whatever they desire, they want. Uh, so, the Supreme Lord is also like that only. Eyatamam prapadyante tam stataya bhajamyam. So, according to your desire, He provides, right? Okay, if you want to go to heavenly planets, yeah, yanti deva vrata devan pitrayani pityavratan. So you can go to heavenly planets, or that is also ultimately provided. That facility is also provided by the Supreme Lord only. And whatever material desires we have as per our karma, ultimately it is sanctioned by the Supreme Lord only, right? So, but if a person desires to serve the Supreme Lord, right, then immediately Lord is willing to help him, to guide him, right? Actually, the Supreme Lord as Super Soul, He is there in our heart. Sarvasya Chaham Hridi Sannivishto, right? He is just next to the soul. So the soul is busy in eating the fruits of this material existence, and the Super Soul is just waiting when this soul will stop its fruitive activities and turn his face towards me, right? So the Supreme Lord, the moment the living entity shows some interest to know about him, immediately he provides all the knowledge, all the facilities to guide him. Like we see when Dhruv Maharaj, he went to the forest to worship Lord Vishnu, immediately Lord arranged Narada Muni, right? When Parikshit Maharaj wanted to here about the Supreme Lord, within 7 days he was supposed to die because of the curse. Immediately Lord arranged Sukadeva Goswami. Right? Same way, when a living entity shows eagerness to hear about the Supreme Lord, to know about the Supreme Lord, Lord makes all arrangement. So Lord is much more eager than the living entities to go back home, back to Godhead, to take the living entities back home, back to Godhead. So only from our side we should show that eagerness. So also when we approach the Supreme Lord, we should approach Him, we should endeavor for pure devotional service. Anyabhilashita shunyam gnana karma danavritam anukulena krishnarushilanam bhaktiruttama. Right? So one should try to serve Krishna in a favorable way, in a way which is pleasing to Him, giving up all material desires. Savai pumsham paro dharmo ito bhaktir adokshajay ahetuki apratihata yatma suprasidati. This is also pure devotional service. One more definition. The devotional service should be unmotivated and uninterrupted devotional service. Not that once in a while I'll come to serve Krishna, or Janmashtami, or some other days I'll come and serve Krishna. Remaining time is for me. No. Continuously one should try to endeavor to serve. And it should be unmotivated. Then it will be pleasing to our heart, pleasing to Krishna. So, in this particular shloka, it is being mentioned that the inhabitants of Siddhaloka and Vidyadhar Loka, they made the great sage Kapila into a calf, and they took the whole sky into a pot and they milked out all this mystic powers. So it may appear very, how they can make all this, right? So it is possible. With our limited understanding, it may be little inconceivable for us to understand these things. How can someone make sky into pot and milking out yogic? We only see milking, when we milk cow, milk is coming. But here, all this mystic powers and so many other things, how can they come? Right? So, Lord is Achintya, inconceivable potency. So, Lord can arrange various things, right? It's not difficult, right? Even in this material world, many things are inconceivable. Only thing is we don't see with that vision. If you see, even our own existence, our own body, right? How each of our organs is made, and how all these organs are working together, right? Coordinating with each other, right? And how Lord sanctions and how we act, right? How we are able to see, perceive, think, eat, right? All this is also actually quite inconceivable, right? In the nature also, when we see, so many things are inconceivable, but when we understand that Lord has Achintya Shakti, then there is nothing bewildering. For Lord, everything is possible. So here, Prabhupada is telling how this people in Siddhaloka, Vidyadhar Loka, they are endowed with some mystic powers by which they can fly in the sky. So for us, it may be very, attractive, or one may be mesmerized. Oh, wow! How is it they're flying? Suddenly, if somebody flies, immediately the whole world will be, all the TV channels, everybody will focus on that, right? But Prabhupada is saying it is as if a fish swimming in water, right? Now, when a fish swims in water, nobody is bothered, right? Or even when we are walking on earth, nobody is bothered. Why? It's common. We see so many people walking on earth, so many fishes swimming in water. So we see what's so great. But suddenly somebody flies in the sky. Because we normally we don't see that, right? When we see something extraordinary, then we are attracted, right? But Prabhupada is telling that is as if there is nothing special about it. It's just like fish swimming in water, people are flying. What is so great? Then Prabhupada is explaining It's the Supreme Lord who gives all these mystic powers. So just like birds are flying in the sky, Krishna has given that ability to birds. Same way he can give ability to living entities, other inhabitants of Siddhaloka. Lord can endow that potency. What is right? So when we see birds flying in sky, or man walking on earth, or fish swimming in water, actually one should be amazed. Oh, how amazing is that Lord has created, given this ability, such wonderful ability in all these various living entities. I cannot create such ability. Man is trying to imitate, like the Wright brothers, they saw how birds are flying and they also try to copy, right? Okay, but there are so many limitations. Like Prabhupada says, so many mosquitoes, birds, so many are flying everywhere, here, there, everywhere, right? They are biting sometimes mosquito, but right, there is no accidents. Millions of mosquitoes, millions of birds, and they are traveling. Some birds travel from one continent to another continent also, right? Prabhupada says there are some eagles which travel from one planet to another planet also. Right? In Bhagavatam it is mentioned. So Lord can give such ability, right? So man is trying to imitate, but there are so many limitations. We see that so many planes crash, right? And so much of endeavor, right, to make it, right? But for Krishna, and no plane can reproduce. It's not that two planes come and produce baby plane, right? But Krishna just creates one male, female, finish. So many millions of birds and no can be created, right? So that is a special mystic power of Krishna, and there is no accident, right? Even if they dash to each other, nothing happens, right? But two planes little bit nearby, finish hard. They will be finished. So actually, many people in this world, they are attracted by the magic or mystic powers. When they see somebody walking on water, or somebody producing some ash, or somebody getting some apple or gold, or somebody telling about their past, future, past and present, or different mystic powers, they are very attracted. How is he getting all this? So that means he is God, because he is doing all these things which are no not ordinarily seen. How is he getting ash? How is he getting apple? How is he walking on earth? That means he is Supreme Lord. Let us worship him. Right? That's how so many false gods have come in this world. So these are just some siddhis. Prabhupada said, what is so great? Uh, so to get this siddhis, actually, these yogis have to work. They have to endeavor for thousands of years. Prabhupada said, why to put so much effort? Just you pay some few rupees and you can cross the river. Right? If you want ash, just burn some paper, you will get in few minutes, few seconds. Right? If you want some gold or apple, go into bazaar and purchase. Right? Some 20 rupees you will get one apple. Right? So for that sake, why to waste time? These people, some yogis, means there are some yogis who understand that Krishna is the source of all mystic powers and they surrender to him. But many of them who don't come to this understanding, they get distracted. When they get these powers, why these powers are dangerous? Why a pure devotee is not attracted, or why he doesn't want these powers, is because these powers can be very destructive, and can cause lot of distraction also. Because when someone gets these powers, he may use these powers and show off and try to attract cheap publicity, and think that he is only supreme, and try to be the controller and enjoyer. Actually, when somebody gets these powers, he starts imagining that he is the controller and enjoyer. So that's a problem. Already we have this propensity, but when somebody is able to control some nature's laws, go above the ordinary people, then he starts thinking, I am special. Right? Oh, nobody is able to walk on water. I am the only special person. So that means I am very special. Right? Like this, they get some powers and they try to become supreme. So, but there is nothing special. Prabhupada makes it as if no so insignificant. He says just like water, fish can swim in water. What is so special about this? There is nothing special, right? In fact, actually, one should be attracted by the mystic powers of Krishna. That how Krishna is able to create such wonderful mystic powers in this material world. Even the mystic powers are given to yogis are actually given by Krishna only. He is Yogeshwar. He is endowing those mystic powers in the yogis. If he doesn't give those, then they cannot do anything actually. It's not that they have obtained those mystic powers by their own endeavor. It's by mercy of Krishna because they sincerely endeavored for so long and praying and struggling for it. Krishna gives. But actually, these are all distractions. It's all useless. So one should not be attracted by this, some this kind of mystic powers or magic powers. So when P.C. Sarkar once had come to Vrindavan, he showed some magic. So he was under a tree and he did like this, and all the leaves fell from the tree. They did like this, all the leaves went back to the tree. Allah. Everybody is like attracted. Oh, very. So then Prabhupada saw it. Then this Sarkar, P.C. Sarkar asked, okay, Swamiji, what is your magic? So Prabhupada said, my magic is I turned all these hippies to happies. I turned all of them into Vaishnavas. Can you do this? I said, no, I can't do this. Prabhupada said, this is my magic. Actually, that is real magic. Somebody is so sinful, doing all abominable activities, right? Breaking the 4 regulative principles, drinking and taking drugs, illicit sex, whatnot. Most horrible things. They don't know anything about Krishna, Rama and Mahabharat, right? Nothing. And so much in mode of ignorance and passion, right? Actually, what Prabhupada has done is the most, we can say, is the highest form of mystic power. Means how he manifested ISKCON, how he transformed the most horrible conditioned souls. That too in New York, which is considered the center of Maya, right? Where people are completely in ignorance and passion. So Prabhupada went to the heart of Maya and transformed into Vrindavan, right? So, and what he did actually in 10 years, even when normal people read or they come to know what Prabhupada has done in 10 years, they are shocked. Because how can somebody, 70-year-old man with 2 heart attacks and so many ill health issues, how can he do all this? So many, establishing 108 temples, making thousands of devotees, writing so many books, establishing so many farm communities, right? So many things, giving so many lectures, guiding all the leaders, writing so many letters, right? It is inconceivable, right? For us, even to sometimes devotees built a temple. So it takes, like in Pune, it took more than 10 years just to build that one temple. Although there are so many devotees, right? So once we were thinking, if with so many devotees to build one temple took so much time, Prabhupada in that time, built so many all across the world, right? So many, and he traveled nook and corner of the world, right? And he transformed so many people. So actually, that is real magic. So that is a power of bhakti. Prabhupada has shown that if somebody surrenders to Krishna and somebody becomes an instrument in the hands of Krishna, then he can transform millions of people all over the world. And Prabhupada has shown that. So actually, this is real magic. So actually, people should be attracted by this, not by some ash or some apple, all these materialistic things, right? These are all children's play. Like children are attracted, no? Oh, right? When they see some magic, right? This is all for children, right? So okay, but we should not be childish, attracted to all these things, nor should we be so foolish that imagining that these people are God, right? Just because they are producing some ash or producing some apple, right? So uh, so one should actually learn to see the mystic power of Krishna in this world. So when we see in the nature, if you see earth, if you just take earth, uh, there are no much colors, generally black, red, that's all, right? But when you plant different seeds, flower, fruits, right? So that is the highest mystic power. You see so many types of flowers with so many varieties of colors and shapes and texture, right? What all you get, right? If you dig earth, you will never get. Even if you go deepest, you will not find anything, right? So the whole design of that flowers, fruits, and leaves, everything. Know how much a tree, how big the tree should grow, what type of branch, what type of bark it should have, what kind of leaves it should have, what kind of fruits it should have, what kind of taste it should have. Whole thing is planned in that small seed. And who made that seed? Krishna. Aham bija prajapita. He is the seed giving father for all living entities. Krishna made that whole plan. Even banyan tree, in small seed, just you plant it, within few years, it covers so many acres of land. Right? So who made that whole plan? And that tree can give rise to thousands of more trees. Isn't it amazing? So this is real mystic power of Krishna, right? That he can create so many varieties of living entities. Even if I am just giving one example of plants and trees, right? So if you observe nature, we should be amazed. Oh, I can't create. Proper challenged scientists. Okay, if you say you are great, you are producing this and that. Okay, produce one variety of living entity and show. Can you produce a new living entity? No, they are just crossbreeding and whatever breeding. They are producing just what we call this hybrid version of vegetables. They may little bit increase size by putting some enzymes, this and that, right? But still nowadays people are not liking that also because it's not very natural, right? So they may just increase the size and shapes of vegetables, fruits, and different living entities, but they are not able to create a new living entity, right? Only Krishna can create. Living entity cannot create, right? So that is the mystic power of Krishna, right? Even when you see a small fly, small ant, you should be amazed. Oh, see, a small ant, it has so many tiny legs, little head, and in that tiny body, it has so much intelligence. It knows, it can smell where is the sugar. Just leave some sugar, immediately, toy, big line, right? And they have their storage, right? Everything. They are so well organized, so well planned, right? We think we are the only organized fellows, but there are so many others who are much more organized also, right? And see the flies, they can fly, here, there, everywhere, right? So when we see in nature all these various creations of God, we should be amazed that how amazing is that Lord created all these wonderful things in nature so amazingly. This is real mystic power, right? And even whatever mystic powers are shown by yogis, also you should understand they belong to Krishna. They don't belong to that person, right? It's actually belonging to Krishna. Krishna kindly bless them for some time with those mystic powers, not forever, right? For some years. And eventually it will be gone. It's not that they are going to have it forever, right? So instead of getting attracted to all these mystic yogic powers, one should be attracted to Krishna, right? And the same mystic power can be blessed, can be given to a devotee of the Lord also. Like I explained how Prabhupada is empowered. Same example, Prabhupada is talking about Kardamuni, how he was able to create such a big plane. We are proud about our, Prabhupada says in the previous jumbo jet or something, we think, oh, it is so such a big plane. But in Bhagavatam, we see Kardamuni created such a big plane which is like a town, having so many gardens, buildings, everything. So, can a plane have such a big thing? We can't. And it is open to air. Right? It's not that it is closed and not like open to air. So, we can't imagine or we can't create. Modern man is perplexed. How can they do like this? Right? That's why they think that this is all mythology, it's not possible. Yeah, actually that is their ignorance, right? They think that because we can't do it, nobody can do it. That's their ignorance. But Bhagavatam tells us that how actually so many things can be done by the Supreme Lord. For him, nothing is impossible, right? For living entity, we can say everything is not possible for you. But for Lord, everything is possible. He is the master of all mystic powers. He is Yogeshwara. So we should all develop faith in the Supreme Lord and in His mystic powers and in His inconceivable potency, Achinta Shakti of the Supreme Lord. And we should be attracted to Him. And also the pure devotees, how they are empowered like Prabhupada, how they are empowered by the Lord, and how they are actually creating magic in this world. So, and if we surrender to the Supreme Lord, Prabhupada always says, Bharata Bhumite Hoile Janmayar, Janma Sardha Kari Kara Paropkar. Right? So he said, I, one Indian, I surrendered to the Supreme Lord and I am trying to spread this knowledge. He said, if you all Indians, if you surrender to the Supreme Lord sincerely, so much can be done. So many people can be transformed. And your life will actually can create magic in your own life, and you can create magic in others' lives also. What is that magic? That magic is not some mystic powers. That magic is transformation of heart. From lust to love for the Supreme Lord. From envy to compassion for the living entities. So this transformation is actual magic, not ordinary powers which we see of some magicians or yogis. Okay, so we'll end here. Thank you very much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Samveta Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Hare Krishna.